In this video, we're going to be answering the question, is light earth fireproof? Like many things in life, it depends, but you can use light earth as a incredibly fire retardant or even fireproof insulation as long as you do it right. So this is a follow-up to my other video on how to convert a barbecue from gas to a rocket stove. This time, I'm going to do it right. But the first thing we should go over is what went wrong. The rocket stove worked brilliantly for cooking last night, as you saw. But a few things went wrong. Now, this is not entirely unexpected. When I was getting the fire going, there was a lot of heat here. I wasn't able to pack the straw in tight enough. Now, from the very beginning, when I picked up that straw bale, I thought I probably should chop this up a little bit, like in half at least. But then when I was opening it up, the strands didn't seem that long and I was in a hurry, and yeah, kind of a lesson in not what to do. And like, some of it is actually really has worked well. It's just not, look at that. That's fabulous. So now, how to fix this? Well, it's simple. We just rip it out. Yeah. I'm going to chop the straw up a little bit, and I'm going to increase the clay content a little bit. Ugh. Now, one of the other things when I was using it, which didn't work so well, is because of the angle of the fuel pipe, it wasn't self-feeding. So I'm going to have a think about that and see if we can change it while I've got everything apart. Woo! Oh, cold earmuffs. That's why you should take your earmuffs inside. I could chop up all the straw so it mixed in easily and we didn't have that same problem of packing it. But as I was getting started before, I had a brilliant idea. Alright, let's grab us some walnuts and some oak. Look at the quilting on that. Gorgeous. But anyway, that's not why I went to the shed. I went to the shed to get the sawdust from this. This will provide the same porous air pockets within the mix. It'll carbonize when it gets too hot, and if it either burns off, it'll leave voids, or if it just forms the carbon, it will form more insulation. But it'll pack in a lot more easily than the straw will. Now I want to try and get as much sawdust in as possible because I want to reduce the thermal mass as much as possible so that it doesn't take too long to get hot. Because I want this to be relatively quick to cook, be able to cook on. It won't be as quick as gas, but I want it as quick as possible. Oh. Right. So the sawdust mix is actually floating on top of the mud. Because, it's got sawdust in it, so it's lighter. So there's still a reasonable amount of goop down the bottom. Really didn't mix this in a sensible spot. Would have been handy if it was closer. Packing in behind the pipe here and underneath the pipe because I want to remove these bits of wood that are holding it in place, holding it up. So can I get that to come out? Yes, I can. Gently, gently. Right. Boys would have loved to do this. Well, about 2 weeks has passed since I recorded that last little bit, and the finishing off of the filling up of the cabinet, I lost the footage or something, I don't know, I can't find it. But anyway, a couple of weeks have passed, and this is what it looks like now. Now you can see these layers, these marks are from the formwork. We've used it to cook with, I think, 7 or 8 times, and yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. Like here it's quite, it's mostly dried out and it's quite hard. Up here though, it hasn't, and it's still, I can push on it and see, leave an imprint for my finger. So tonight we're going to cook on it, but I rescued the thermometers that I had from my last pizza oven, which we had to demolish when we moved from the last house, and I stuck that in there, and that's on the flue pipe in there. And this one's a 300mm one, and I'll stick that in there, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that's through to the pipe. Now unfortunately this one looks a little damaged because the calibration looks stuffed, because it's reading minus something, whereas this one looks like it's still good. So it's what, you know, below 20, which is right. Like it might be reading a little high actually, because I don't think it's quite 18 or so. So tonight we're going to cook on this, but before we get to that footage, which of course I haven't filmed yet, I'm going to show you some of the other modifications I've made as well. So the question to is light earth fireproof is, well, of course, it depends. But you can see how well it's doing in this situation.
Smells good. This isn't fair. It's brilliant fire, and I'm not getting anything.
It's pretty good insulation now, isn't it?
Yes.
The normal use of light earth as an infill in stick frame construction or post and beam construction gives you an installation that is very quick to install, much quicker than straw bale, gives you a neat surface that you can render onto much quicker than straw bale, but you also have those same fire retardant, even fireproof properties if you've got an earth render inside and outside. But the great thing about straw bale is that, the great thing about light earth is that you still have those fire retardant properties even without the render. But it does require a good pack, and you need that good pack even for just insulation. This is something that I'll probably deal with in another video, but if you have too loose an insulation and you've got too much of an air void or air percentage in the wall, it actually reduces the insulation capacity of the wall. So you want a good tight pack. Now in a formwork with straw, that is easy to do because you're tamping it down from above. In the first version I did with the rocket stove, I couldn't get a tight enough pack, but with the sawdust, or you could do it with chop straw, you can get a really good tight pack which keeps the oxygen out and makes for a fireproof insulation. And that's brilliant because that means you can use it for rocket stoves, pizza ovens, mass heaters, whatever, and you don't have to use those industrial products of perlite or vermiculite or refractory cements and the like. So I hope you enjoyed this video, hope it was useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But in the meantime, have fun, make something, and if you can, make a difference. But stay tuned for these messages. Coming up on Mad Scientist Prospecting, watch Stuart dig for gold and find nothing, and then nothing, and then nothing, and then hopefully something. I'm going to be finally doing the video series on how I've been building the Kenyan beehives, and on Chestnut Nag's tools from Japan. I thought I was going to be in India before the next lot of tools came from Japan. I've got 5 or 6 boxes of tools on their way right now, and I reckon at least 1 or 2 of them are going to get here before I leave, which means there'll be an unboxing video on Chestnut Nag's tools from Japan. I know there's some chisels, I know there's some saws, I know there's a bunch of other stuff, but I really can't remember what, so I'm looking forward to that. But for now, have fun, make something, or at least make a difference. Catch you guys later.